What is up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Horror at the Store. I'm your host, Katie Hettenbach. And today, we got Jordy Stroud in the house. Woo-woo!
I'm back.
Back and ready to rock. Hell yeah.
Uh-huh.
Let's get it. So today we watched An American Werewolf in London. And we always do a logline off of the title alone. It has nothing to do with the movie itself. It's just on the title. It's goofy. It's weird. What do you got?
Mm-hmm. I said American Werewolf in London. The title kind of explains it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate.
This was the best one to write a logline for before you watch the movie.
Yeah, because it was easy.
Because the title is the logline.
Yeah. I wrote An American Werewolf in London. A teenage American werewolf secret agent goes on a mission to London to save the world leaders from evil, a.k.a. Agent Cody Banks 2, starring, what's his name? Malcolm in the Middle. Frankie Muniz, starring Frankie Muniz as the werewolf secret agent.
That was really close to what the movie actually was.
London, destination London.
What is that?
It's a song from the movie.
This movie?
No, I wish.
Different
it
one?
should have been.
Oh, was there? Oh, yeah. I think now I know what you're talking about. Agent Cody Banks, and he goes to London.
Yes, that's the movie.
I vaguely remember that movie.
For those of you who don't know, you should know.
Okay.
It's not a good movie, but it's wonderful. It's fantastic.
You want to do this podcast on that movie instead?
Absolutely not. Maybe. No.
Someday.
Probably not. It's not a horror movie. But it was, because it was terrifying. Anyways, so basically it's two American college students who are on a walking tour of Britain.
Two bros backpacking through Europe.
And they're attacked by a werewolf and the locals don't want to admit.
Well, before they're attacked by the werewolf, they have this long walk. And they're having this weird banter where one of them is like, yeah, I have a crush on this girl, Rebecca. And the other guy's like, Rebecca, she's hot as fuck, but she's like, her personality's totally whack, bro. He's like, well, no, her personality's not that bad, but she's hot as fuck. And the other guy's like, yeah, she's hot as fuck, but like, honestly, her personality's whack. That conversation goes on for like 7 minutes.
Yes, little.
Do you remember that?
Nope, absolutely.
You don't remember that?
No, first of all, it's been a little bit since I've watched this movie. But yeah, I just remember them walking and what did they...
It's a locker room talk, if you will.
Yeah, it was full locker room talk. So the main characters are David and Jack, and they're backpacking.
Which one's the main character?
It's David.
David, yeah, that is.
And they stumble upon this pub, which is in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And it's called the Slaughtered Lamb.
Uh-huh.
And they talk about... there's like these lore of like the werewolves, and they're like, what is this? Because there's like candles on the wall, and there's there's a pentagram
on the wall with candles, and then they walk into this pub, and then everybody stops what they're doing and stares at them.
They turn on them immediately, and they're like, get out of here,
Uh-huh.
but they like stay to the street. And of course, what did they leave?
Well, I see this movie as like a Shakespearean tragedy.
Oh my God.
Because they go in there and there's real conflict among the people in the pub. They're like, some of them are like, they should stay. And then the other person's like, no, they should leave. And the other person's like, no, seriously, they should stay. And they're like, no, it's fine. Tell them to leave. And then they leave. And then everybody in the pub is like, fuck, they're going to get killed by the werewolves. Because they didn't tell the two guys that they're werewolves.
Yeah.
But everybody in the pub knows.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, fuck, here we go. But they're like, stay to the street.
Yeah.
And so they're walking.
And then they somehow fucking go off the street.
They immediately go off the street. They're like, okay, this is what I imagine. Like, I know backpacking isn't this, but I literally imagine when someone's like, oh, I'm going backpacking, I imagine them literally walking through fields with a backpack. Like, oh, I'm in Ireland and I'm walking through a field.
Dude, it's like the middle of the night.
It's but like this.
And they're in bumfuck nowhere.
But this is what I imagine that backpacking is. Like when someone says they're going backpacking, it's just you and a friend walking through a field in the middle of fucking nowhere in Europe. And I'm like, why would you do that? But it's not that. Apparently, it's not actually that. But,
like, I don't think they had tents in their backpacks.
Nope, they're not camping. They're backpacks.
So then they needed a place to stay. So It's already weird that they're off the trail.
So they're off the trail, and they immediately start hearing shit, and they're like, "Oh fuck, that's a werewolf."
Yeah, they're really nervous.
They're like, "Something's there. Maybe it's a bear."
Oh, it's a dog.
Oh no, I don't know. And they get mauled by a wolf. Jack, he dead.
Jack dies.
He dies.
That's part of the Shakespearean trap. Like right off the bat, you think there's two main characters. There's one. The other guy dies.
Yes.
And then David keeps seeing Jack. You know, the ghost of Jack.
We'll get there.
Okay.
We will get there.
We'll get there.
We will get there. David lives because the bar people from the slaughtered lamb shoot the wolf, and the wolf turns into a man. So you're like, oh, okay, it's a werewolf. It's not just any.
It's very clever.
The classic wolf. And he goes to the hospital.
David goes, yeah.
He thinks he's crazy, keeps seeing Jack like half dead, and every time he sees him, he keeps like decaying more and more.
Which is that's very Shakespearean, like Macbeth fucking...
Okay, Mr. Film School, settle down.
Like Macbeth and Otherwoods, they keep seeing like their dead friends, and then they don't know whether it's a real hallucination or if it's really somebody beyond the dead.
Mm-hmm. And so he meets this nurse and the love interest Alex, and let's go back. So Jack, the dead zombie Jack, ghost human thing, keeps telling him he needs to kill himself in order for the werewolf line of victims to end. So all of it, the victims that David kills are going to basically be these zombie creatures in like limbo until the curse is ended.
Yeah, so David has become a werewolf because he was attacked by a werewolf and bitten, but he survived. But if he dies, he would be the last werewolf, and that would therefore break the curse.
And
this is heavy.
You know what's hot and sexy though? Him and Alex make out on duty. I was like, Miss Ma'am, you're a nurse. You're on duty.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Breaking a lot. Well, that's illegal.
Yeah, he gets in with the nurse. The nurse
like,
gets attracted to him.
Settle down. Also, she looked a lot older than him at one point, and I was like, I don't know.
Maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of the message they were trying to send. I have we'll probably get to it near the end, but I have like a theory about what the message is, and I think it's like really fucking deep.
That's so film school of you. Oh my god. So he goes to live because he's in London.
Yeah.
He's a minor. He's in high school. No, he's in college. He's in college. But he just graduated.
He can't be a minor.
I don't know. I fucking because they're like, oh, we have to call his parents.
We see his penis.
Okay, but they keep being like, they have to call his parents. We have to call his parents. And when I hear that, I'm like, oh, that's a minor because they're calling his parents. But I call my parents like if I got into an accident.
True.
So like, oh, we can't.
So maybe he was.
And Alex is like, or not Alex, David's like, I don't have a place to stay. And Alex goes to stay with Alex at her place. And
okay, Alex, yeah.
He's having these weird nightmares of these like frog people. That was a weird trip, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah, it's weird goblin people killing his family.
And like his little sisters. And I was like, what was the point of this?
Like
I get everything else, but
the symbolism. I still haven't fully understood it. I'm for real. I'll tell you. We'll get to it.
What is the symbolism of the frog people that murdered his family?
What I think the whole movie is trying to say is like, I think it's like what do you call it? They're trying to talk about American almost colonization or like Americans invading other countries. Like, I think this can be an allegory for Americans in Iraq. Like, so Americans go to these other countries, right? And then we don't understand their culture. We don't get ingrained in it. And I think, and then usually the people in those countries hate Americans, or at least the people who are most traditional with their culture in those countries, represented by the people in London in the pub. Okay, so these Americans go to England. The first people they interact with are these very traditional rural people in the pub. They're not quite as, modern as the people in the city we later see, and they hate the Americans. And the thing is, the Americans are ignorant of their culture, and they also don't want to bring the Americans into their culture, partially, and that's represented when they're like, hey, we should tell them to be careful of the werewolves, and then there's a whole fight. They're like, no, fuck them. We don't need to tell them to be careful of the werewolves. Let them go out and be on the streets. And, they get killed by a werewolf, and then one of them turns into a monster. I think that's what happens when Americans go to other countries. They don't want to learn about their culture. The most traditional people there don't want to teach Americans about their culture. And then when both sides, that creates a monster who goes into another country and then ends up killing everybody, killing innocent people in the, the very advanced city of London. He goes on a rampage and kills people later on as a werewolf. That's what we see in Iraq. Americans coming in. They don't know anything about the culture, and the most traditional people there, the people who have this strong culture, they hate the Americans, and then they start killing each other.
You just film schooled the fuck out of that.
American Werewolf in London is a very deep movie, and it's a Shakespearean tragedy. You disagree?
I think it's just a fun movie, and if you
all right, fine, whatever.
No, that's you give yours. I'm gonna give my opinion. it's every movie someone's gonna get something different, and that's interesting that you.
That's my analysis.
Yeah.
All right.
So
we can talk about the movie now.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. So weird frog people, knives. They have knives. They're just like killing people left and right. And then David turns into a wolf. And the way it happens is, honestly, I've watched this clip in film class and growing up. I've only watched the clip of him.
Really?
Yes, I've watched this clip of him turning into a wolf, but I didn't know what it was from. I just would always see it, like, if I watched, like, a horror show or, like, behind the scenes or something, they would always be like, oh, this is, like, amazing practical effects. And he, like, it's all practical effects, and it's, like, you see his face turn from a wolf to or from a human to having the snout of a wolf, and then his hands turning into claws, and his back, like the spine elongating and curving, and his like talons growing, and it's
very good.
It's so fucking cool, and it's
classic.
It honestly is an amazing scene. Highly recommend going to.
And he's got a nice body too.
If you're not gonna see the movie, just watch the scene because it's so good.
And there's movie. It has something for the ladies and the guys because he has a nice body.
He's not ugly.
You get to see some action, and then also later on you do get to see boobs.
This is true. So he's a werewolf and he's running around and he mauls a dude just in the subway.
Yeah, he mauls a
dude in the subway. And the best part about this is, he's mauling people. No, don't do that. But the signs on the subway are so funny. One of them says "nonstop orgy. See you next Tuesday."
No fucking way! I didn't see that.
It literally. Cersei and I watched it. My roommate and a friend of the podcast, if you will.
A friend of mine.
Yes, a friend of all of ours. A friend of God's. Literally, we rewound the film like 6 times to just make sure that we saw that correctly because it was so fucking funny. So over the course of the night, he kills 6 people. He wakes up naked in a zoo, wolf enclosure, gets out, and he's butt-ass naked, and he's like, fuck, I need something. He spots a little kid.
This is the first time we get to see his penis, by the way.
I love that you're obsessed with that. That's good. I love that for you.
Well, I think we need to represent more naked men in film. Because we see so much naked females and boobs, and then where's the representation of the naked men?
Yeah, like penises are easier to show. If you show a vagina, that's like NC-17 right away.
What I'm saying is, yeah, I'm saying it's unfair to women, and this movie helps that.
Okay. So let me get to this. So he bribes a little boy for balloons and is like, he's like, I'm gonna use the balloons to like cover everything. And he goes, I'll give you £1 for the balloons. And the kid's like, no. And he's like, how about £2? And I'm like, if you don't know currency and you're like, a pound, that just sounds like sex. That sounds like a sex thing. Like, I don't know.
Oh, I'll give you £1.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you £2.
Oh, I'm gonna give you.
He steals the little boy's balloon, runs away, and the little boy goes to his mom, and the mom has one line, and it's, "How are you doing, darling?" And the little boy goes, "A naked American man stole my balloons." And that was the line.
Stealing their culture.
Hilarious, wonderful, hilarious.
That's what we do in other countries.
Okay. David.
And
after post-Wolf
and then there's
is horny as fuck. He and
That's
Alex
right.
have sex, but he's spiraling because he realizes he's the killer. And but he says he loves Alex.
So he's he's not. The whole movie is conflicted. Like, am I actually becoming a werewolf, or do I just have this like? Am I just being deranged? Am I just insane?
He realizes that no, it is.
And then he thought he just went on an insane, like, he just went off in the night and then doesn't remember it. But then he finds out people died the night he blacked out. Yep. And he's like, I am a fucking werewolf.
And he goes to this porn theater, which is the all-day orgy, see you next Tuesday. But then it says see you next Wednesday. I don't want to say continuity error, but continuity error. And he's having visions of these victims that are like, kill yourself. And he goes to the porn theater.
Where you get to see the tits.
Yes. And like, it's porn, so you see porn.
Yeah.
And
you have to watch porn.
Are you into that? Is that what you're into?
No.
Damn. Wow. Yikes.
No, I never watch porn, babe.
He turns into a wolf. We'll talk about this off camera. Well, he turns into a wolf. And he just kills everybody in the theater. Like, staff are coming up to him, and he just runs loose in the city. People try to contain him, but it's not happening. Yeah,
this is where the city actually finds out, oh my God, there's an actual beast. Like, it's getting out. Yeah. Because before he just killed every witness.
Yeah.
Now we find the police are like, holy shit, there's a,
and
police get involved like in Iraq.
Like in Iraq?
I could go into. I don't want to go too far into it because it's a really deep theory. But I gave you.
Like, this is war.
Like, it's like what happens? War happens.
Yeah, I don't think it's not.
And I know. I'm saying, but I say it in that tone because it's very serious.
Okay. So he gets cornered by the police in an alley. And Alex is like running. She's like, don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. And she walks up to him and she's like, I love you. Because she's like, I'm going to save you.
She kind of believes that she can save him, but she's also there's an earlier quote in the movie where the guy, where I think the main guy is talking to somebody is like, yeah, I think the only way a werewolf can die is if somebody who loves them kills them. And then I don't know, there's something about that. And then she comes hopefully trying to save him. And then it's like, can he be saved? And it seems like he maybe recognizes her.
Until the cops shoot him.
He lunges for her and then the police shoot him.
Yep, and she cries.
And then what they do is that when they cut to the cops shooting him, they cuts back to him, and now he's a man again, just naked with bullet holes inside of him.
Because the curse is ended, and all the victims are free.
Which is what they did earlier with the
in Iraq.
No, what I'm saying is earlier in the movie is when the wolf.
Yes,
the first wolf. Yeah, they cut away to the people shooting it, and they cut back, and now he's just a person dead, naked with bullet holes.
Because that'd be a werewolf.
Very clever.
That'd be a werewolf. So out of 10, what do you think?
10.
10?
As you heard, this is like a Shakespearean tragedy. Like yeah.
Okay, 10.
10 out of 10.
I gave it a 7. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny.
It kind of flew over your head.
Nope, it did not. I got the gist. But yeah, it was a really good movie overall. And I judge it more on like what I'm seeing. I try not to like think of other things or like, I just like
try not to think about Iraq while you're watching movies.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think I'm okay.
It's not just I'm not just saying in the Middle East. This happens everywhere.
So if anyone's gonna learn
no, not just the Middle East.
Jordy is obsessed with Iraq.
This is Americans do this. Other countries do this. colonization. That's what the movie is talking about. And it's a two-way street. It is. And that's my stance on American Werewolf in London. And I'm excited to see American Werewolf in Paris.
Yeah.
There's a sequel, right?
I don't know if it's a sequel.
Maybe this is the sequel.
I
And then there should be an American Werewolf in Afghanistan. Just for me.
You can
I'll write it.
that. But I gave it a 7 out of 10. Again, I liked it. But I thought it was good, and the practical effects are what I really enjoyed, and
It was fun.
it was a fun movie. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be dry, but it was actually really interesting.
Same. Like, joking aside, I thought it was like, what the fuck? But it was great.
It was great.
It was fun.
Yeah. So anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
I'm on YouTube. I am in a movie called Desmond the Demon Hunter. It's a short film on YouTube. I act in it. What do you want to plug?
I don't need to plug anything. I'm the host.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways.
And follow me on Instagram, Jordy_Stroud, Jordy with a Y.
There you go.
Stroud, Stroud.
There it is. There it is. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. Mostly listening to this episode of Horror at the Store. And thank you again to our sponsors, FYE. You can shop them in-store or online at fye.com. Stay spoopy, my friends. Stay spoopy.